Florida State smacked LSU in the biggest game of week one of the 2023 college football season. Another top 10 clash is headed our way in week two. Third-ranked Alabama is set to meet number 11 Texas for a showdown in Tuscaloosa. Not only is this contest a preview of future conference foes, but it's a rematch of an entertaining clash that Alabama won 20-19 last season. The other ranked versus ranked matchup on the week two slate features Ole Miss and Tulane, while several more top 25 teams hit the road. And it's safe to say Colorado's encore performance against Nebraska will be watched closely too. Hello, friends, and welcome to the Week 2 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher and Michael Bullock. And gentlemen, let's dive right on in. But before we do, real quick, we are keeping an eye on the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City leads 20-14 in the fourth quarter. If anything significant happens, we'll report it. But we will most certainly keep an eye on it during this broadcast here. So without any further ado, gentlemen, let's dive right on in. 7 high noon games on Saturday to start things off this week. And all Saturday games, no Friday, Thursday, or any of that. It's all Saturday games for this week. And we started off at high noon with the number one team in all the land, your reigning, defending, undisputed, back-to-back college football playoff national champion, Maine Georgia Bulldogs, back at home at Sanford Stadium in Athens, as they will be hosting the Cardinals of Ball State. High noon, this will be over on the SEC network. And on the call for that one will be it'll be Taylor Zarzar, Matt Stinchcomb, and Alyssa Lang. Georgia opening up as a 42.5-point favorite. The bright side for Georgia is a lengthy list of injured players: Dejon Edwards, Kendall Milton, Ladd McConkey, Smail Mondon, and so on. Don't need to rush back. Ball State, which fell to Kentucky 44-14 last week, is not a massive upset risk, but the Dogs want those key contributors ready for their SEC opener against South Carolina next week. Easy win for Georgia, 52-7. There isn't much more to say. MF, another, I guess we could call this next victim for the back-to-back champs.
Yeah, and exactly as you say, you don't want to rush the starters back because you want them to be healthy enough, because next week is the start of SEC play. That's when the heart and the soul of your lineup, that's when you really want to start winning your games. This one seems like a pretty easy opponent. I don't think there's going to be much for us to talk about here. So, yeah, I'm in the same boat. Georgia wins easily, and Michael Bullock, is yours.
Yeah, I'm going to make it unanimous. This is an easy win here for the Maine and Georgia Bulldogs. I got them winning in a laugher, so let's just move right on to the next game.
And it features the number 5 team in all the land, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Their home opener at Ohio Stadium, the Horseshoe in Columbus. They're going to be hosting the Penguins of Youngstown State. You can find this game over on the Big Ten Network. And on the call for that one will be Corey Provis, Jake Butt, and Brooke Fletcher will be on the call for that one. MF, do we have a spread for this game or not really?
Let me check. According to this, no. I do not have a spread.
I didn't think so. All right. Sorry, Mr. Michigan. You got to start off on the Ohio State University hosting Youngstown State, home opener in the shoe.
Yeah. Look, impressive win by Ohio State, 23-3 over Indiana. But they did not come out pretty. It wasn't the best performance, and I know Ryan Day also criticized the team after the game, said that they looked very sluggish at the start. They didn't really finally figure it out until they got to at least the third quarter. But after that, they started out red hot, got the early lead, but Indiana kind of hung around until the third quarter, and then Ohio State finally got the game under control and was able to see their way through. Not the most convincing performance, not the most dominating performance. That will be erected and clarified and corrected this week as they're going up against Youngstown State. Even though Youngstown State did win their opener, they also were winners last week, but they went up against a team in Valparaiso and they dominated them 52-10. But whenever you get these, mid-major type of conference teams to go up against one of the juggernauts in college football, it always ends up being a disaster for the little guy. The big fish just basically has their way with it. So at the end of the day, I say Ohio State wins. It'll be a lot more convincing than 23-3 last week. So nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be a much better performance for Ohio State. I mean, yeah, they did win 23-3, but it was a little bit closer than what a lot of people expected. But this is Youngstown State, so yeah, Buckeyes win. It's yours, Florio.
When you have championship-sized expectations, a 23-3 win over Indiana is not satisfying. Ohio State's offense needs to move beyond its unimpressive debut, and a game against lower division Youngstown State certainly offers that chance. Yeah, it will most certainly be a lot more convincing than 23-3. How about 56-7? That's how I have it. So 56-7, Ohio State all over Youngstown State. Next up, the number 7, Penn State Nittany Lions. Back at home at Beaver Stadium in Happy Valley. They're going to be hosting the Fighting Blue Hens of Delaware. And this game can be seen. Just bear with me for a moment here as I go through my announcer sheet here. Oh, this game will be streaming exclusively on Peacock, guys. Brendan Burke, Michael Robinson, and Zora Stevenson will be on the call for this one. MF, do we have a spread for this one?
No line.
Okay. All right, no line. Obviously a laughable favorite here. So, Michael Bullock, Penn State, another home game. They took care of West Virginia last week, and now they got Delaware coming in. Should be another easy win for the Nittany Lions in Happy Valley on Saturday.
Yeah, it should definitely be another easy victory for Penn State here, especially with another home game for them at Beaver Stadium against Delaware. So, yeah, I got Penn State winning in convincing fashion, so it's yours, Florio.
All right. Penn State will continue the trend of top 10 blowouts. Still, it's an important tune-up game for the Nittany Lions as they prepare for Big Ten competition, Illinois, and Iowa during the next 2 weeks. Easy win for Penn State, 49-3. Penn State all over Delaware. MF, make it unanimous?
This is unanimous. Like you said, Penn State is looking really, really good right now. They've played so well up to this point, and I kind of feel like Penn State is right now in a situation where, like you said, they just got to win their games. They got to do what they need to do to handle their business. And then from there, that may open up something more. Like you said, they got a game against Illinois. I'm not really too worried about Illinois. Iowa, though, that could be a very important game for Penn State, especially this early in the year. And yeah, it's yours. And Anthony, it looks like we got a major development up in KC.
Jordan Montgomery has just scored a touchdown for the Detroit Lions. We await now the extra point. The game is tied at 20. We are keeping an eye on, we are awaiting the extra point here. 7:06 to go. Extra point is up, and it is good. The Detroit Lions have just taken the lead on the Super Bowl champs in their house. 21-20, Detroit, 7:06 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Evan Foxy of the Pat McAfee show must be absolutely beside himself right about now. He's a diehard Detroit Lion fan. Oh my God, if the Lions pull this off, Evan Foxy's gonna be uncontrollable tomorrow on ESPN.
I can only imagine. Yeah, good luck to Pat McAfee trying to keep him in line.
Oh, and
So,
yep.
oh man. But anyways, MF, I think you gave your thought on Penn State. So,
Yep. Next game.
All right, next game. And gentlemen, it's my team back in the top 10. The number 10 Notre Dame Fighting Irish on the road against the North Carolina State Wolfpack at Carter Finley Stadium in Raleigh, North Carolina. You can find this game at high noon on Saturday over on ABC. And on the call for this game will be Sean McDonough, Greg McElroy, and Molly McGrath. They'll be at NC State. Notre Dame opening up as a 7.5 point favorite. One of the games of the week right here. Between a pair of strong performances from Notre Dame quarterback Sam Hartman and NC State's unremarkable win at UConn, a lopsided margin feels possible. DraftKings only lists Notre Dame as a 7.5 point favorite, though. Keep an eye on this contest in a thin noon window. You know I will be. I got Notre Dame pulling it out. I think NC State will hang with Notre Dame this time around after Notre Dame had a pair of cupcake wins against Navy and Tennessee State, in which they outscored those two schools combined 98-6. Oofa. Oh my goodness. You can only imagine the fun I've had the last couple of weeks watching this team. And I'm loving me some Sam Hartman right now. And if he's playing like he is, we might have to put his name in the Heisman conversation. That would be awesome. But NC State will hang with us. But at the end of the day, I think Notre Dame will pull away with a late score. Notre Dame defeats NC State. My final score, 34-20. Notre Dame over NC State. So not much more to say. MF, I know you're going to call this an upset alert, but hey, Notre Dame.
No.
Okay.
Wrong. I'm not buying NC State. No. After what I saw from Notre Dame, this is not upset alert. You're wrong, Anthony Florio. This is going to be closer than what the experts have it. But I got Notre Dame winning this one because think about this. The last time these two teams played was October 28th, 2017, and Notre Dame crushed them 35-14. Now, I'm not talking that it's going to be that kind of lopsided win, but what Notre Dame has shown early on is definitely that they're dominant, that they're not afraid, that they're willing to move the ball down the field, doing it at ease, and winning games that, these are the games you need to win. These are the games that early on in the year, you haven't hit the bulk of your schedule yet, Anthony. You haven't hit the meat and potatoes. These are kind of like the appetizers. This is like me ordering those mozzarella sticks, or you getting those little chicken tenders, or you're just whetting the appetite. I'm not getting to my steak yet. You're not getting to your pizza yet. So that's kind of what where we're at right now. So for me, I'm going to say this: 38-23 Notre Dame. And that is with confidence and no regrets. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I got Notre Dame winning this one as well. I mean, I still think NC State is definitely going to make it a game here, but in the end, I just think it's going to be. I just think Notre Dame's going to pull away at the end. So Notre Dame wins. Let's move on.
Okay. Okay. I would have thought maybe because Notre Dame's. Because NC State, I thought little little bit of a dark horse, but okay.
Mm.
I'm good with that. So, all right, and great analogy. Great, I love the food analogy, MF. I mean, that's when we have our boys' nights out or our group outings or what have you. So, oh, how do I move on from that? All right, I got it. All right, next up we have the number 12 Utah Utes on the road against the Baylor Bears at McLean Stadium in Waco, Texas. This game can be seen over on ESPN. And on the call for that one will be Bob Wischusen, Robert Griffin III, and Chris Budden. And Utah opening up also, like Notre Dame, also opening up as a 7.5-point favorite. So MF, Utah got a nice win over Florida, but Baylor, what the heck happened? You lose to Texas State? What's up with that?
Yeah. They lost their quarterback. They lost their starting quarterback. Their quarterback, their boy, Blake Shepard, he's not even going to play. He suffered an NCL injury in week 1. He's out for a little while. They said at least 2 to 3 weeks. It was an NCL sprain. Thank God it wasn't anything worse than that. But by all the standards, that was a very underwhelming performance by Baylor. Definitely un-Baylor like, as we saw for many years. And Utah just plugged away. They went up against a very feisty Florida team that, punched them in the mouth early. They took that shot. They were like, okay, all right, we see what you do. Came back with a barrage in themselves, overwhelmed the Gators, and basically turned them into Gator bites or Gator bits, as my friend Kaiser Butler would like to throw at me every time about my Miami Dolphins. Story for another day. But I believe it's Utah to win. I think Utah is definitely going to have it, and especially with no starting quarterback for Baylor, that's a recipe for disaster. It's going to be a bad night, a bad game for our good friends. If you're a Baylor fan, you might want to turn away from this one. This is not going to be pretty. I think it's going to be a 31-17. I got Utah continuing their hot streak, continuing their winning ways, and they get the job done. They knock off Baylor. So, Bullock, it's yours.
What game are we talking about?
Utah and Baylor.
Yeah, like you said, Baylor was just an un-Baylor-like performance. I think Utah will definitely give them some fits, but I definitely see Baylor bouncing back here. There's no way this team has another performance like we saw last week. So Baylor wins. It's yours, Florio.
All right. Speaking of rough losses, Baylor fell to Texas State in week 1. Just like Texas Tech, however, the hosts are probably headed for another loss at the hands of a Pac-12 opponent. The status of Utah quarterback Cam Rising is uncertain again, but the Utes defense can shut down Baylor. Utah wins. My final score, 24-13. Utah over Baylor. So there isn't much more to say on that. We move on to high noon game. I think we have 2 more left after this one. And it features the number 15 Kansas State Wildcats back at home at Bill Snyder Family Memorial Stadium in Manhattan, Kansas, hosting the Trojans of Troy. And you can find this game over on FS1. And on the call for that one, just gotta find it in my sheet here. Bear with me for a minute here. All right, Eric Collins and Devin Gardner on the call for that one. And Kansas State opening up as a 16.5-point favorite. Michael Bullock, we started off with you here. Kansas State at home against Troy. K-State opening up as a 16.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I basically don't see Kansas State losing this one. I think they should be able to handle their business with Troy here. So Kansas State to me wins. So it's yours, Florida.
Alrighty. Find it here. Okay. There's no question. K-State coaches are reminding players of last season's loss to Tulane in early September. Troy, the reigning Sun Belt champion, is another thorny Group of 5 squad. As long as Kansas State's run defense is sound, though, the Wildcats will evade a repeat. Kansas State wins 27-16. MF, are we going to make it unanimous?
Yeah, I think K-State wins this one. They just have the wherewithal. They know the mantle, the makeup and the mentality that they have, and I think they'll get the job done. So yeah, give me Kansas State to win the game. No, nothing more to say. And Anthony, is yours.
And we move on to our final high noon game. And now we move on, gentlemen, to one of two teams that won the hearts of college football and fans alike. The back in the top 25, number 22, Colorado Buffaloes. Home opener, Folsom Field in Boulder. And they will be hosting their once longtime rivals, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Big noon Saturday on Fox. You know who's working that. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, the All-American girl, Jenny Taft. Colorado opening up as only a 3-point favorite. So here we go, boys. Ready for the encore? In its home opener, Colorado meets classic rival Nebraska. Given the firepower Colorado's offense showed at TCU with 565 yards and 45 points, it seems highly unlikely that the Huskers can match the pace, even though Colorado's defense is still a question mark right now. I got Colorado winning this game. My final score, 38-27, Colorado over Nebraska. MF, the Colorado Buffaloes, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, his son, the quarterback. Holy Toledo. What a game against TCU. 5-star classic, Shakespearean drama at its absolute finest. And there's nothing left to say except I know it's a weekend, but game of the year thus far.
No, without a doubt. And you could even make an argument that was the game of the year right out of the gate. Look, Colorado did everything they needed it to do. They took on TCU. They overwhelmed them offensively, defensively. They made them look fat. They looked faster. They looked stronger. They looked better. They won in the battle of the trenches. They outplayed TCU, and they deserve that win. That was a huge win for them, a great victory for them. And now they're going up against a Nebraska squad that a lot of people has a very high expectations for. So I agree with that. I think it's going to be end up being Colorado winning yet another one, and I think they'll go 2-0. So yeah, Anthony, it's yours. Anthony, it is yours.
Bullock goes to Bullock.
Sorry, Mike.
Oh, that's okay. What can you say about Colorado? I mean, first game under their new coach, primetime Deion Sanders, and man, I mean, what a game that was. A 5-star classic, chock full of the absolute finest Shakespearean drama you can find. And this, to me, was a statement win for Colorado, a team that last season won only one game. And then first game right out of the gate under their new coach, and you beat a team that was in the national championship game. I mean, and a team that's in the top 25. That's a statement win. But the thing we got to keep an eye on, guys, is could there be any letdown from this? But if I know Coach Prime, he's not going to have his players lose sight. He's going to have them focused and ready to go And look, I'm sure he'll say, "Hey guys, we just need to continue to do our job and do what we did, do like what we did last week. If we can do that again, we will definitely have some success here." So yeah, Colorado. I mean, I'll tell you this: if they could do it again, who knows? Maybe we could start taking them seriously. I know it's only like it would only be 2 games into the season, but this would be this would be huge for them. I mean, to win the first 2 games, like I said, after only winning 1 game last season. So Colorado wins. It's yours, Florio.
All right, gentlemen, that concludes the high noon portion. And now we move on to a very rare start time, a kickoff time of 2:15 on Saturday. The number 25 Clemson Tigers, their home opener, Memorial Stadium in Death Valley, as they are going to be. Hang on one moment. We got a moment here. Oh, wow.
Nope.
It might happen. We could be on the verge of something here, folks, but we'll get into that in a minute.
We're now at the 2-minute warning, and I'll tell you what, guys. I mean, if Detroit somehow holds on and beats the defending champions, that could be a statement victory for this Detroit Lions team. And
dude, do you know how many people are going to attack Kansas City if this happens? Oh boy.
But that is the one thing you do not want to do on the night where you basically raised another Super Bowl championship banner and you lose to the Detroit Lions on your home field. That is not going to sit well with the Kansas City fan base.
Yeah, no. we will most certainly, regardless of what happens, we're going to have a lot to say about this game tomorrow night. Absolutely. On the season premiere of TXN Sports World NFL Friday. But for right now, let's get back into this. 2:15 kickoff. We have the number 25 Clemson Tigers in their home opener, Memorial Stadium in Death Valley. They're going to be hosting the Buccaneers of Charleston Southern. And this game can be found over on the ACC. You can find this game on the ACC network. And on the call for that one will be Drew Carter, Dustin Fox, and Alex Chappelle. No spread. I don't see a spread here. MF, I'm sure you can confirm that.
Let me see. I do not have a spread, no.
I didn't think so. All right. And I believe MF gets this one. So, MF, Clemson, you know they are going to be boiling mad after they got embarrassed and humiliated by the Dukies on Labor Day Monday night.
That's an understatement. Dabo Swinney went absolutely ape after that performance. There's a lot of people calling them out for not doing anything with the transfer portal, for not doing anything with the NIL deals, for not updating and fixing the issues or the problems that they had. He got called out and then some. He got raked through the coals by many people in the college football community and away from the college football community. Some people even saying that maybe the Clemson dynasty is over. Like, that's how bad it's gotten. Major turn of events, major absolute shocker after what happened. And we knew Duke was a formidable team. We knew Duke was, they're not the run of a mill. They're not like the Duke basketball squad that's really, really good, really elite, that'll be a threat year in and year out. No, they're not that. But the Duke squad, an egg on that night. Oh my heavens. It was shocking. It was stunning. You kind of had to wonder what the heck. But at the end of the day, You handle your business. You got the job done. You won the game, and now Clemson's gotta get a get back. Charleston Southern is the perfect get back game for them. I think they'll turn it around. They'll get the job done. For me, I'll say it. I do believe that I do have Clemson winning this game, and there's nothing more to add. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, yeah, Clemson's fuming after that embarrassing and humiliating performance against the Dukies on Labor Day Monday night. And yeah, Dabo Sweeney was definitely not happy about it, but the fan base was not happy, so much so they, like you said, they literally called him out on it. And yeah, this was not good for them. But this is definitely the game that they definitely need here. And yeah, so I got Clemson winning this one, and I got them winning it. Yeah, this is a really good bounce back game here, and boys, Detroit just picked up a first down. Kansas City takes their final timeout, and we're on the verge of an upset.
In the immortal words of Mike Goldberg in the UFC, it is all over.
I cannot believe this. And I remember you, Florio, when the schedule came out, you were like, really? The Detroit Lions? You could have picked anyone else but these guys. But remember what I told you. Remember what happened at the end of last season. They finished strong, and I'm like, you cannot take these Detroit Lions lightly.
No.
And they just did. They just went into Kansas City, one of the toughest places to go in and win a game. And Detroit just got a huge statement win to kick off the season. And all I can say is good for Jared Goff and for head coach Dan Campbell. Yes. Now, whether they could, if they can, now remember, let's not get too carried away here. It's only one game, but it's definitely a big one for Detroit. So, man, congratulations, Detroit. You definitely made a name for yourselves tonight.
Wow. I mean, you guys know I don't impress easy, but I'm damn sure impressed tonight. Wow. I'm literally not believing this right now. I mean, in the immortal words of Michael Cole from the 1999 Royal Rumble, someone slapped me. Is this a dream? I mean, my God, this is unbelievable. Yes, it has happened. The Detroit Lions have just gone into Arrowhead Stadium and have just beaten the defending Super Bowl champions in their house, 21-20. Wow. I'm stunned. And the media there in Kansas City, they're gonna criticize the Kansas City for some of the things they did were a little bit questionable, and the media is gonna call them out on that one. But let's not forget another factor, guys. I mean, they didn't have Travis Kelce. I mean, because of a hyperextended knee. This is true. I mean, if he was around, I think the outcome would have been completely different. But regardless, Kelce or not, what a moment for the Detroit Lions. I mean, their biggest win in I can't recall how many years. I mean, I'm honest.
And let's not forget another thing. Jared Goff is now he's now 2 for 2 against Patrick Mahomes,
including that legendary Monday Night Football game, November of 2018 in the Coliseum. That the greatest regular season game ever played, no question about it. So that 54-51 shootout that MF and I will never forget because we had it. But whoa, Nelly. Whoa, Nelly. We will have plenty more to say about that tomorrow night.
Whoa, Nelly.
Oh, Nelly. In one of the words of the late, great Keith Jackson. So, 21-20, the Detroit Lions have just knocked off the Kansas City Chiefs. For only the second time, they have gone into Arrowhead and won. The only other time before the night that they did it, you got to go all the way back to 1988 when they won that game by a score of 7-6. So, what a moment for the Detroit Lions and their fans. And, they're going to be celebrating hard tonight. So, what a moment. Hell of a job. They deserve it. And, boy, howdy, I am happy for that team, man. What a moment. Wow. It's hard to move on. I mean, I'm stunned out of my mind right now, but it is what it is. But anyways, let's reel it back. Let's reel it in here and let's get back on with the show here. So I believe everybody talked about Clemson, am I right?
I do believe it is next game, Anthony.
Yeah. I don't know if MF, I know you gave your thoughts about it. And I think Bullock gave his thoughts about it. I don't think I did. So, week 2 brings a bounce back opportunity for Clemson, which fumbled twice inside the 10-yard line and had a pair of field goals blocked in the loss to Duke. Charleston Southern lost to NC State 55-3 last year. Clemson over Charleston Southern 56-10. So there isn't much more to say on that. And now we get into the 3:30 games, and surprisingly, there's only 3 of them. Hard to believe. And gentlemen, we started off with your team here. The number 2 Michigan Wolverines back in the big house, Michigan Stadium, Ann Arbor, welcoming the UNLV Rebels into the big house. And this game can be seen on CBS. Just give me a moment here and it will be, the same crew. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell, before they get into the SEC schedule next week for the final season of the SEC on CBS before they transition over to ESPN next year. So Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jenny Dell on the call, and Michigan opening up as a 37.5-point favorite. I believe Michael Bullock starts this one off. So Bullock, Michigan, a 30-3 winner over East Carolina last week, and now they have another easy one as UNLV comes in, and you boys are favored by 37.5.
Yeah, I think my team, Michigan's definitely going to handle their business again for a second straight week. So, yeah, there's nothing more to say. I got Michigan winning this one on the laugher, so it's yours, Florio.
All righty. So I move it down. All right. Jim Harbaugh is set to serve the second game of his 3-game suspension, but Michigan has another comfortable win on the way. The defense permitted only 235 yards in the victory over East Carolina last week. Another easy win for Michigan, 45-10. Michigan all over UNLV. So, not much more to say. MF, Michigan, back at home, UNLV coming in, and you're on CBS. How awesome is that for you boys?
Yeah, I know. Very rare for us to be on CBS, but I'm very appreciative to get the opportunity more than anything else. And it's gonna be an interesting game. It's gonna be a lot of interesting battles and everything else. And I'm almost I feel confident that Michigan's gonna get the job done, and I do believe Michigan will win. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, and we move on to our next 3:30 matchup, and it's the other ranked versus ranked, the first of 2 ranked versus ranked matchups. You could call this the de facto number 2 game of the week, if you really think about it, as it will be the number 20 Ole Miss Rebels squaring off against the number 24 Tulane Green Wave, and this game can be found on ESPN2. And on the call for that one, It will be Dave Patch, Dusty Dvoracek, and Tom Luganville. They will be on the call for this game, which will be emanating from Yeoman Stadium in Tulane. So I believe I start this one off. So bear with me for a moment here. Okay. Number 2, de facto number 2 game of the week here, guys. No question about it because of the ranked thing here. So, well, okay. Tulane upset Kansas State, the future Big 12 champion, early in the 2022 season and capped the campaign with a victory over USC in their bowl game. Ole Miss is also a well-respected team thanks to a powerful offense that put up 73 points in their opener. This is a huge opportunity for Tulane again. However, I believe the Rebs are built to endure what may be a high-scoring game. I'm going to take a chance and go with Ole Miss in this one. My final score, 38-30. Ole Miss outlasts Tulane, but I would not at all be surprised if Tulane were to steal this one. So, not much more to say. MF, Ole Miss and Tulane, number 2 game of the week.
Yeah, like you said, Ole Miss should win this game. The Tulane should be like within the range, but I think Ole Miss will figure it out. They'll get the job done. Ole Miss wins. Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, well, what game are we talking about?
Ole Miss and Tulane.
Yeah, and you went with Tulane, right?
No, we both
went with Ole Miss.
Oh, all right, Ole Miss. Yeah, yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm going with Ole Miss here as well. It's going to be a close one, but I still think Ole Miss is definitely going to pull it out. So Ole Miss wins. Let's move on.
And we move on to another one of the games of the week here. As this is the final 3:30 game. The number 23 Texas A&M Aggies on the road against the Miami Hurricanes, the U. Hard Rock Stadium, Miami, Florida, over on ABC. And on the call for that one will be Joe Tessitore, Jesse Palmer, and Katie George. And Texas A&M, a 4-point favorite. MF, here you go. Sleeper game of the week, number 23 Texas A&M against the U. The U looking to get back to prominence, while A&M looking to, stay in the top 25.
Yeah, this is one of those games where if you look at it on paper, you would think that Ole Miss is going to win. A lot of people are saying that Ole Miss is definitely, or A&M is definitely the favorite going in. And the thing is that if you're Miami, look, it was not the most, it wasn't the greatest win in the world, their first game, even though they handled their business and they beat Miami of Ohio 38-3, but it didn't get going until much later in the game. Because first half they only scored 16 points. It wasn't until the second half was when they finally kind of dropped the hammer and finally ended it. But against a team like A&M, you got to be consistent all 4 quarters. And the thing is that this was a very interesting game, to say the very least. A&M is definitely the favorite, coming out of a 52-10 wipeout of New Mexico. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go with A&M to beat Miami. I think it's going to be a close matchup, but I just feel like A&M, they're due for a big moment, and I think they're going to get that moment. So for me, A&M wins it. Michael Bullock, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm gonna go with Texas A&M as well. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more to say. So it's yours, Florio.
Definitely. After both programs trudged to a disappointing 5-7 record last season, they're looking to secure a quality early win. The result probably hinges on Miami's new look offensive line, one that cleared the path for nearly 7 yards a carry in their opener. if the Canes can run effectively, they'll be able to steal a tight win. So I'm actually going to call for the upset here. I'm going to say Miami defeats Texas A&M 24-23. So not much more to say. We move on to the first of 2 5:00 games. Yeah, it's very rare we get 5:00 games, but we do here nonetheless. As we move on to the number 8 Washington Huskies, as they will be hosting the Golden Hurricane of Tulsa at Alaska Airlines Field at Husky Stadium in Seattle. And you can find this game over on the Pac-12 network. And on that call will be Ted Robinson and Yogi Roth. Washington opening up as a 34.5-point favorite. So I believe Michael Bullock starts this one off. So Michael Bullock, number 8 Washington at home against Tulsa.
Yeah, and judging by that, I got Washington should they should have no problem and win this one pretty handily. So Washington wins. It's yours, Florio.
Yeah. Pull it down. On the other hand, Washington shredded Boise State secondary for 12 passes of 20-plus yards. Good luck, Tulsa. Easy win for Washington, 52-14. MF, unanimous?
Agreed, unanimous. I'm going with Washington as well. So Anthony, next game.
And we move on to the other 5:00 game, and it features the number 9 Tennessee Volunteers. I stand corrected last week. Their game against Virginia was actually held at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, the home of the Tennessee Titans. This time around, they're at their traditional home, Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, as the number 9 Tennessee Volunteers will be welcoming the Governors of Austin Peay in the Neyland Stadium. SEC Network, Justin Kutcher and Dave Steckel on the call. No spread because I don't see one. I know MF will probably confirm it. So there is not much more to say on this one. So, oh yeah, that's right. I started off. All right. After rolling over Virginia 49-13, Tennessee will cruise past Austin Peay. The topic to watch is whether the passing game finds its explosive plays. The Vols averaged 4.2 gains of 20-plus yards through the air in 2022, but managed only 1 against Virginia. But nonetheless, easy win for Tennessee, 59-10. They're all over Austin Peay. So I'm at Tennessee now at their house of Neyland Stadium after an impressive win over Virginia at Nissan Stadium.
Yeah, and I'm also agreeing with you on the forefront as well. I do believe that Tennessee will get the job done. That should be an easy victory for them, and we move on. So Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, this will definitely be an easy victory for Tennessee. So Tennessee wins. Let's move on, Florio.
How about another rare kickoff time, 5:15 p.m. Eastern Time, as we will see the number 17 North Carolina Tar Heels in their home opener at Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill, and they're going to be welcoming, well, a school that MF and Bullock know all too well, the Mountaineers of Appalachian State. This game can be found over on the ACC network. And on the call for that one will be Wes Durham, Tim Hasselbeck, and Taylor Tannenbaum. North Carolina opening up as a 19.5-point favorite. MF, on paper, it sounds like an easy win, but don't tell App State that.
No, and definitely that is a major mistake that could be made. But I do believe that App is not. They just can't. I don't think they'll be able to hang in this situation. So even though yes, the upset bug or You would think that the upset bug would come into play. I just don't think so. North Carolina will get the job done, and I do believe that Carolina will win this game. So, Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I believe that North Carolina will. They should be able to handle their business. I mean, Appalachian State. I'm sure they'll hang in there for a little while, but I think North Carolina will pull away at the end. So Carolina wins. It's yours, Florio.
Few programs have become more synonymous with upsets than Appalachian State, and a trip to Chapel Hill provides yet another chance. But if North Carolina's defensive performance in the opener against South Carolina truly reflects its ability in 2023, and the jury is still out, for the record, the Tar Heels will avoid becoming a part of App State's proud tradition. North Carolina wins. My final score, 38-21, North Carolina over Appalachian State. We have 2 6 o'clock games to get into now. And we start off with the first of those 2 6 o'clock kickoffs. The number 18, Oklahoma Sooners, back at home at the Gaylord Memorial Family Stadium in Norman, Oklahoma, welcoming the Mustangs of SMU. This game can be found over on ESPN Plus. And on the call for that one will be Sean Kenny, Ryan Leaf, and Torrey Petrie. Oklahoma opening up as a 15.5-point favorite. Michael Bullock, we started off with you. Boomer Sooner. Bullock?
Yeah, this week it's going to be Boomer Sooner for the Oklahoma Sooners. So Oklahoma wins. It's yours, Florio.
Welcome to your If You Like Points, this is the game for you showdown of the week. SMU head coach Rhett Lashley runs a high-tempo offense, and Oklahoma hung 73 points on Arkansas State last Saturday. Despite the 80-point potential, expect a reasonably straightforward OU win. Boomer Sooner, Oklahoma wins 56-31 over SMU. MF, are we going to make it a unanimous Boomer Sooner here?
Yeah, I say unanimous too. I think Oklahoma does get the job done and they win this one. So yeah, nothing more to add. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. The other 6 o'clock kickoff features the other toast of the college football world from last week. We talked about Colorado earlier. Now let's talk about the other toast of the college football world. The now number 21 Duke Blue Devils back at home at Brooks Field at Wallace Wade Stadium in Durham. They're going to be welcoming the Leopards of Lafayette. You can find this game over on the ACC network with Lowell Galindo and Charles Arbuckle. And, well, obviously no spread, so there isn't anything else left to say, gentlemen. In a vacuum, this is a prime letdown game for the Blue Devils. They're playing on short rest after a massive upset win. Fortunately for Duke, the opponent is lower division Lafayette. No matter if the Blue Devils start slowly, they'll eventually out-talent the visitors. Easy win for the Dukies, 41-6, all over Lafayette. MF, obviously, the Dukies will most certainly keep the momentum going, coming off the biggest win in football history, proving to the world that, hey, we're not just a damn good basketball school, we're a football school too.
Yeah, and I do believe that they should get the job done. Look, did anybody in their right minds think that they were going to beat Clemson last week? No. Did anybody think that they were going to beat Clemson the way they beat Clemson? Absolutely not. This was one of those games where the stars were aligned, everything came together, and they did everything right. Other than that one touchdown that they gave up, they played a flawless performance, and it could not have been any better. One of the best performances of the year, and that was exactly why they were where they were. So for me, I gotta say, Duke is gonna bounce back. They'll get yet another victory, and there's nothing more to say. So, Anthony, Michael Bullock, it's yours. Duke wins, and they'll keep the hot streak going.
Yeah, I definitely see Duke keeping the hot streak going, especially after what they did last week. So yeah, the Dukies win. It's yours, Florio.
Gentlemen, are you ready for the game of the week?
Let's do it.
As we get into the 7 o'clock slate, we have two 7 o'clock games, but we got the big one right here. The game of the week for week number 2. The number 3, Alabama Crimson Tide, back at home at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, and they will be hosting the number 11 Texas Longhorns. And this game can be found over on ESPN. And a game of this magnitude, it's only fitting that the A team is on it. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe, no surprise. Alabama opening up as a 7-point favorite. MF, last year, these two teams gave us what you considered your personal favorite game of last season, because Texas nearly did the unthinkable, nearly slayed the almighty Goliath that's been Alabama these last several years. But here we go. Texas, Alabama, round 2. Will the sequel be just as good or better than the original?
I don't think so. Not this time. I believe Bama's gonna dominate this one because of the fact that look. Don't get me wrong. Texas played a great game last week, but Bama is Bama, and it's a little different when they're at home than they are on the road. On the road, they can be catchable. They can get caught on a bad night. LSU, anybody who wants to remember that game. Or even Tennessee, remember that game. At the end of the day, they just, they have to handle their business and play the way that they need to play. But it's Bama. And especially at home, they just know how to dominate. So to me, I think Bama gets the job done. They'll win this game. So Alabama wins it. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Bullock, are you there? Oh, I think we may have lost Bullock here. All right. Bullock, just let us know when you're back in. So and we'll get your thought on it. So but the game of the week. Oh, okay. All right, we got Bullock. Okay. All right, Bullock. Game of the week. Number 11 Texas at number 3 Alabama. Bama 7-point favorite.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a big one here. I mean, I expect this one to be a close one, but in the end, I think this is going to be Alabama winning this one. I mean, yeah, Texas is going to hang in there. This is going to be a 4-quarter game here, boys. No doubt about it. But in the end, Alabama will get the job done. So Bama wins. It's yours, Florio.
Definitely. I am firmly in quote unquote believe when I see it territory with Texas in marquee games. That is neither a bold nor unique statement, and you might share that sentiment. But this showdown in Tuscaloosa is the exact opportunity the Longhorns need to change that perception. Alabama quarterback Jalen Milroe calmed some nerves with his terrific opener as well. Close game, I agree with Bullock, but I am going to make it unanimous. Bama will find a way. I got Alabama outlasting Texas again. Another close game. 27-20, Alabama defeats Texas. Move on to the other 7 o'clock game. And they will feature the number 13 Oregon Ducks on the road at Jones AT&T Stadium in Lubbock, Texas, as they'll be squaring off against the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. And you can find this game over on Fox. And on the call for that one will be Mark Followell and Mark Helfrich. And the spread favors Oregon, but Oregon's only favored by 6.5. So there isn't much more to say. I believe Michael Bullock starts this one off. So Bullock, number 13, Oregon on the road at Texas Tech, Saturday night on Fox at 7:00. Oregon, 6.5-point favorite.
Yeah, again, this is one. I think it's going to be a close one. Texas Tech, I think, will definitely hang in there, make it a game out of it. But in the end, for me, the choice is, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more for me to say. So, it's yours, Florio.
All right. Need to find it here. Okay. Revenge and redemption storylines are enjoyable. Texas Tech quarterback Tyler Shaw and defensive coordinator Tim DeRuyter were both previously at Oregon. Plus, the Red Raiders are aiming to atone for last week's overtime loss to Wyoming. This matchup should be a close one into the fourth quarter, but the explosiveness of Bo Nix and the Oregon offense will win out. Oregon wins. My final score, 38-27. MF, it's safe to say Oregon should win, but don't expect them to put up 81 like they did last week. Wow.
I want to say that I wonder what Eric Carrier must have been thinking, because he must have been like, even for me, I was, when I saw that number, I was like, oh my word. Are you kidding me? 81?
Video game.
81? We're not playing Madden, people. This was real life. Welcome to college football, folks. If you don't know, there's those games where little dog basically took a poop on the big dog's yard, and big dog got pissed and beat the living daylights out of little dog. And that's what we saw. Big dog ate and hunted the whole night, and that was a massacre. So, yeah, Oregon's going to win again. There's nothing more to say. Anthony, is back to you, I think.
Okay, so let's see. Almost there, boys. I think we got like 5 more to go here. So, yep, we got 5 more to go. We have 2 7:30 games to get into next, and we started off with the number 14 LSU Tigers. And that did your thing cut in and out?
No, I'm good.
Okay,
I think that might have been Bullock.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to be sure on that.
Yeah,
okay.
No, I'm here.
All right. Yep. All right. 5 games left, and we move on to the first of 2 7:30 kickoffs. We have the number 14 LSU Tigers at home at Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, welcoming another set of Tigers, the Tigers of Grambling State. SEC Network, you can find it there. And on the call for that game will be, I just got to find it here. Okay, it's Clay Madvick and Aaron Murray that will be on the call. No spread. So I believe I start this one off. So LSU collapsed in the second half of the loss to Florida State. I'm sure it's been an interesting and fun week of practice in Baton Rouge. LSU cruises to a lopsided win before traveling to Mississippi State next Saturday. 56-3, LSU all over Grambling State. MF, just like with Clemson, LSU is going to be hopping mad after they got embarrassed late against Florida State.
Oh, absolutely. I kind of feel the same way as well. But I'm going to say it. I do believe LSU is going to get the job done. They need to get the job done. And I truly believe that that's exactly what's going to happen. So, yeah, I'm with you on this one. LSU wins this one going away. So, nothing more to say. And, yeah, Bullock, it's yours.
Bullock, I see your mic is off. I see your mic's on. I just don't know where he is. All right. While we wait for Bullock there, let's Bullock. Okay, there he is. All right, there he is. Okay.
Oh, what are we talking about?
The number 14 LSU at home against Grambling State.
Oh yeah, I think LSU is going to bounce back after that loss last week and handle their business with Grambling State. So LSU wins. It's yours, Florida.
All right, and we move on. We got 4 games left. Next up, the other 7:30 kickoff, and it's the ABC Saturday night game of the week, as it will feature the number 9, and this is a good one here. Another interesting another one of the games of the week here. The number 19 Wisconsin Badgers on the road against the Washington State Cougars from Martin Stadium in Pullman, Washington. Game can be found over on ABC, and on that call will be Mark Jones, Louis Riddick, and Quint Kesenich, and Washington State opening up as a 6-point favorite. I believe this one goes to MF. So MF, Wisconsin and Washington State, another sleeper matchup here.
Yes, another sleeper matchup. Look, this is going to be an interesting one too because of the fact that both teams are coming off their last performances. Let me see if I can find it quick here. I just need to find my notes. And with this one, Clemson coming off a big win themselves. Washington State, I should say, coming off a big win, 50-24 over Colorado State. Of course, Wisconsin, 38-17 over Buffalo. It's going to be one of those matchups where it can go either way. Normally at home, you would think that'd be advantage for the Washington State, but Wisconsin, they air raided it. That's something that Wisconsin never does. They went and they changed their style, they changed their look, and boy, did it pay off. So I mean, they still ground and pounded more than anything else. But if they kind of go more air raid this time around, who knows? Maybe we might be talking about Wisconsin turning this around. But after a slow start, they kicked up the Jets in the second half. But I do believe it will be more of a ground attack. If it is, advantage Wisconsin. So give me Wisconsin to win it. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Bullock, are you there? All right. Probably waiting on Michael Bullock again. So let me get into this one. Just let us know when you're back in, Bullock, and we'll get your thoughts on it. The trip to Pullman will be an interesting test for Wisconsin. Washington State probably will not run well in this matchup, and Cameron Ward had only 200 passing yards in the 2022 game. Ultimately, a mountain of mistakes cost the Badgers in that 17-14 loss to Wazoo. Wisconsin is the better team and likely wins uncomfortably, but a long trip to unfamiliar territory is a huge variable, and the hosts will not lack confidence. Wisconsin wins 30-27 over Washington State. So keep an eye on let's keep an eye on Michael Bullock here for the most part, and we'll get his thoughts on it when he's ready. So let's get into our next matchup. We only have a few more left. We have a rare 8:30 kickoff here. The now number 4 Florida State Seminoles back at home at Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee. Their home opener, as they will be hosting the Golden Eagles of Southern Miss. 8:30 kickoff over on the ACC network. And on the call for that game will be Jorge Sedano, Orlando Franklin, and Marilyn Payne. And Florida State opening up as a 31-point favorite. So, Bullock, if you're back in, let's get your thoughts on this. Or if not, then I'll take the reins on this one. So, all right, I'll take the reins here. Find this one. Okay. Florida State's emphatic triumph over LSU and Clemson's loss to Duke combined to make the Noles the clear ACC favorite in 2023. That status will be officially tested when Florida State travels to Boston College next week, but a painless win against Southern Miss comes first. Easy win for Florida State, all over Southern Miss, 41-14. MF, Florida State dominated in the second half against LSU. Can they keep it going against Southern Miss?
I believe they will. I think they'll get the job done. Look, for a number of years, and you remember this better than anybody else, Anthony, in the early 1990s, Florida State was the creme a la creme of college football. There was Miami, there was Nebraska, there was FSU. Through the days of Charlie Ward and the great Terry Bowden, or Bobby Bowden, I should say, and that crew with Warwick Dunn, with the receiving core that they had, and there was also the Notre Dame with Lou Holtz. Everybody remembers the game of the century. Notre Dame versus Florida State. Number 1 versus number 2. And how that went down. So there was at the early stages of the 90s, that is where everything laid out. So for me, yeah, simple enough. Florida State will win it. If they win this game and continues their run, there's that belief that Florida State is back. If they get there, oh boy, is all I can say. Nothing more to say. Michael, Anthony, should I give it back to you? Or should we try Bullock one more time?
We could try Bullock one more time, but I'm thinking we may have lost him. But yeah, okay. And yes, MF, you brought up that Florida State Notre Dame game. This year marks the 30th anniversary of that legendary game, and a game that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. So, anyways, 2 games left, and we move on to a 9:00 kickoff. And you can find this game over on the Pac-12 network, as it is the number 16 Oregon State Beavers at home at Reser Stadium in Corvallis, Oregon. And they will be hosting. I just wanted to look up the stadium real quick. The Aggies of UC Davis. And this will be over on the Pac-12 network. And on the call for that one will be Roxy Bernstein and Lincoln Kennedy. No spread. So I believe this one goes over to MF. So MF, Oregon State, home opener in Corvallis against UC Davis.
Yeah, no, this should be Oregon State. There shouldn't be that much of a debate here or any type of fear. I do believe they'll get the job done. So yes, I give me Oregon State to win it, and nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
All right. Gotta bump it up here. Okay. Be careful not to dismiss UC Davis simply because it's a lower division team. Miles Hastings is a veteran quarterback, and the Aggies began their 2023 campaign with a 48-10 rout. You know where this is headed, though. DJ Uiagalelei looked outstanding in his Oregon State debut, totaling 5 touchdowns and only bolstering the optimism around the program. Easy win for Oregon State, 37-17, all over UC Davis. So now here, I believe we are at our final game of the week, and it will feature. It's a 10:30 kickoff, and it's you could call this Pac-12 After Dark, even though it's not on ESPN. Fox is going to have Pac-12 After Dark this time around. as they will be at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in Los Angeles, as they will be as the number 6 USC Trojans welcoming in their hated rivals, the Stanford Cardinal, on Fox. Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman, Josh Sims. USC opening up as a 29.5-point favorite. SC. I mean, what else do we have to say, guys? I mean, the short version, USC wins handily. The intrigue of this Pac-12 clash is that the Trojans have plenty to prove defensively, while Stanford is adapting to Troy Taylor's up-tempo modern offense. We should learn a fair bit about both units on Saturday night, but I got USC outlasting Stanford 49-28. Nothing more to say. MF, take it home unless Bullock comes back. MF, all right, just waiting for MF to come back, and we'll put the bow on this edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday, week number 2. So we're just waiting on MF to come back in and give us his thoughts on the Stanford USC matchups. So all right, so just MF, just let me know when you're back in, and we'll get your thoughts on this one. So yeah. All right. So like I said, I have USC winning this game 49-28. Stanford might hang with SC for a little bit, but I think SC will ultimately, put it away in the fourth. Caleb Williams will continue his pursuit of a back-to-back Heisman. I mean, pick up right where he left off from his Heisman campaign of last year. So there's no question about this one. SC will make it 3 straight in the Coliseum against what I believe will be a game Stanford team. 49-28 USC holds off Stanford Saturday night on Fox. So MF, if you're back in, let's get your thoughts as number 6 USC hosting Stanford in the Coliseum to close out week number 2 of the of this college football season. So okay, so still awaiting MF to come back so we can get his thoughts on this, and then we will put a bow on this and set you up for some very exciting future content coming up on our family of networks over the next couple of days or so. So it's been a very exciting week so far anyway, and I do know tomorrow night we're gonna have a lot to say about the big moment tonight in the NFL with the Detroit Lions knocking off the Kansas City Chiefs 21-20. I mean, who saw that coming? None of us did, and I'm still stunned as to how that turned out. So all right, we're just awaiting for MF to rejoin us, and then we'll close this thing out. So but yeah, just waiting on him to come back in. So he obviously must have stepped away for just a moment. So okay, so while we all right, so MF, just let us know when you're back in, and we'll get going here. So all right, so let's see. Of course, tomorrow night we got the season premiere of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, where we will obviously recap the Lions versus Chiefs matchup, and we'll preview the remaining slate of week number 1, the 15 remaining games of week 1 in the NFL. Can't believe it's already here, but it is. And then Saturday night, we got the Cerebral Smack Talk over on MF's channel, Race Fan 95. as we will have Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Collision. And then Monday night, we'll do it all again with Ridiculously Raw, as we will have Monday Night Raw. And of course, I will have the results of the Impact Plus special Victory Road that will be going down tomorrow night. And then Wednesday night, of course, we have Wednesday Night Madness, NXT, AEW Dynamite, and we will preview the season premiere of Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime, as it will be a matchup of the Minnesota Vikings squaring off against the Philadelphia Eagles. And then next week, here on College Football Thursday, all right, we've already, all right, okay, Bullock, are you back in? If you are, we'll get you caught up on some of the games you may have missed. Bullock, are you there? All right. Nope. MF, are you back in? So we can get your okay, there's MF. Okay. Final game of the week, MF. Number 6, USC at home against Stanford in the LA Coliseum.
I thought I did put the prediction down. I said USC wins.
Maybe I don't know if I didn't hear you, but
you probably didn't hear me because I did say, yeah.
Okay. So all right. So with that, now that we'll put the bow on this week 2 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. As always, we will be back with you tomorrow night, 10:30, right back here on the Tone 25, the season premiere of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, as we will recap the Lions and the Chiefs, and we will also preview the remaining games of week number 1 as the NFL is back. And after what we saw tonight, I think we're going to be in for another doozy of a season, I'll tell you that. Saturday night, 10:30, MF will have it. Brace Fan 95, Cerebral Smack Talk, Friday Night SmackDown, AEW Collision. Monday night, we do it all again with Monday Night Raw, or Ridiculously Raw, rather, with our review of Monday Night Raw. And, of course, I will have the results of the Impact Wrestling Victory Road special on Impact Plus. And then Wednesday, we got Wednesday Night Madness with MF, as we will have NXT, AEW Dynamite, and our preview of the season premiere of Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime, the Minnesota Vikings and the Philadelphia Eagles, the matchup. And then 1 week from tonight, the week 3 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. And of course, looking at the schedule here, not all that exciting, but there are a few notable games here. In no particular order, I mean, Florida State against Boston College, South Carolina against Georgia, Washington and Michigan State, Tennessee and Florida. So not really the most exciting docket next week, but we'll see how that changes with the new rankings when they come out after this week's action. So that'll be next week. So that's it. So until tomorrow night for the season premiere of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, Anthony Florio here for good old MF Michael Fletcher, for Michael Bullock, and in spirit, always and forever, Didi Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Friday, and until tomorrow night for the season premiere of TXN Sports World NFL Friday, you've been watching the Week 2 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streaming.com. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.